third grade, and welcome to our reading skill for today. Today we are going to read a text from Common Lit. Now we have some groups that are working on Common Lit, and eventually we're going to get everyone on there to practice, but this is kind of what they look like until we open up the website. We're going to read through the passage together, and then we have two parts. One, you will be answering questions on your own and finding your evidence, and then we will have a discussion. Let's go ahead and begin. 3 Ways to Learn About Consumer Power by Amanda Oliver. Now, Common Lit always has this gray box at the top that gives us extra information. It says this text explains how to make better choices the next time you buy something. As you read, highlight ways to take a positive difference when choosing what to buy. Before we begin, I want to label the different parts of this text. So go ahead, let's grab our text tool and let's make it green. And I want you to write, or blue, I think you have red, blue, and black, I believe. So you can let's make it red. This is our title. We'll label our title. Down here where it says by Amanda Oliver, Amanda Oliver is our author. Go ahead and type in author. And then right on top of this part, do you remember what this is called? If it is a picture of a real thing, we call that a photograph. So go ahead and write photograph. Below photographs that describe what it is or give it a title, we call that a caption. Pause the video so you can get these parts of the story labeled. And then we will begin. You can see these numbers on the side, and that's telling us what line we are on. We will be marking the paragraphs, or more like the sections for this part. Let's go ahead and begin. What is consumer power? Think about your favorite store, toy, or food. The ability to decide what you and your family buy is called consumer power. When you eat something or you buy something, you are consuming it. By buying certain products instead of others, you can help make a positive difference in the world. Let's highlight that word consumer because we're going to see that a lot throughout this text. How can you become a conscious consumer? Now right here it has a little 1 on it, and when we do our Common Lit, you'll be able to click on that and it will tell you the definition. So conscious means to be aware, or you know what is happening. So how to become a more conscious consumer means to know what you are buying and think about what you're buying. Let's circle our first heading. Let's circle that in red. Our first heading is at the shop. Every time you have to have a say in which products you buy, you are exercising your buying power. Choose products with less packaging. There's another subheading that is underneath the larger heading, so we call it a subheading. Once upon a time, the world believed that extra packaging was a sign of quality and importance. We now know that packaging is mostly waste. Next time you look at a product, look at the package it comes in. So think about chips or think about your cereal. Does a single pen really need all of that packaging? Does your toy really need that huge box? Think about these questions can help us cut down on waste. You don't use the trash after you take it off of the product, right? You just throw it straight into the wastebasket or the trash can. Circle the next subheading. And I want you to record yourself reading this part. So you have a choice in what you buy and where they come from. Put your recording right there. Let's box this second heading. See how they labeled that in number 2, the other reason. The source. Do you know where your food comes from? How about your favorite toys? Your favorite snacks don't come from the aisles of the grocery store. Your favorite toys don't come from Target or Toys R Us. Learning about where our products really come from can help us make decisions. Visit a local farm. You can visit a local farm to learn about where our food comes from and what is healthy to eat. Let's circle that subheading. Circle our next one. And we see this word producers. And it has another one of those buttons, so we can look at what it means. A producer is a person or company that makes or grows. So that means a farmer would be a producer. That means that a seamstress would be a producer because they produce clothes. For this next section, I want you to record yourself and read it out loud. Now we see another one of those words with a number in the top, the word local. And we are looking at our local government, so we know that local is from a certain area or neighborhood. Usually one is close by. So that would be people that produce stuff in Lafayette, a local producer. Put your voice note on the side. Let's box our next heading. You have the power to change the neighborhood and world you live in. The choices you make as a consumer can make a difference. They can change the future of our planet for the better. A golden rule. Circle that subheading. Whether it's choosing eco-friendly products, we already looked at that word, those are things that are made at the store, or writing letters to local politicians, those are people like mayors or people that make decisions, about topics that matter to you, your voice can make a difference. Now we talked about main idea early last year, and main idea is what the whole story is about. Now we talked about main idea early last year, and main idea is what the whole story is about, what happened from the beginning to the end. What did this talk about? Now when we're thinking about the main idea, I want you to think about what the author's opinion is. So what is the author's opinion, and how does that help us find the main idea? What do they think about buying products? Do they think it's wasteful? Do you think it's good to buy products with a lot of packaging? That will help you find the main idea. Go ahead and choose your answer after reading through the options. B. Which detail from the text best supports your answer for A? What evidence or facts or an example of their opinion helps you find the main idea? Go ahead and answer number 2. Number 3, how do the subheadings, we circled all of those subheadings, like choose products with less packaging and support local food producers, help readers better understand the information in the article? What does this make you think about the author's opinion? Choose products with less packaging. Support local food producers, people that make food that live in your city. How does that help you with the information? Go ahead and choose your answer. And 4, what does FSC label do, that part that you read? What do they do? Go ahead, find your evidence for that one, choose your answer and mark it. Make sure you're always using the arrow tool. Do not color it in because then it will not grade it correctly. Make sure you click on the arrow tool and then click on the button. Now for our discussion section for today, you may choose 2 to answer. Whichever 2 you want. Whichever ones you choose, make sure that you circle it and add your voice note. We'll go through all 3, but you are only going to choose 2 discussion questions. Now our first one says, think about something you or your family members recently bought. Maybe you had to get more pencils. Maybe you had to get some food. Where did you buy it? So answer that question first. And then how do you think it got to that place? Who were the producers? See if you could find it on the package of where it was made. Where do you think it came from before that? You can also add a picture of the product you're talking about to help better explain to me your answers. Answer all 3 of those questions. If you choose number 1, number 2, think about a food you like to eat. Where do you think that food comes from? What are some ways you could make a positive difference by buying that food or another food? One food that I really like is coffee. I love coffee so much. But sometimes I'll go to Starbucks and every time I get a new plastic cup, and guess what I do with that cup? I throw it away. I put it straight into the wastebasket. So a way to make a positive difference from buying that food than other food is I could make coffee at home in my coffee pot and just put it in a reusable cup. So what would you do with your favorite food? And number 3, think about the tips the author provides in this article. What are some ways you or your family might exercise your consumer power to make a positive difference? Which ways seem most difficult to you? Which ways seem the easiest? So you have to go back into the text and find those suggestions that they gave you by buying stuff locally, supporting local producers. And which one would be easiest for your family? Once you are finished answering 2 of these, then you can move on to the next activity for today.